story of J.P. Morgan begins with an unexpected narrative, a story of a sickly child born into a world of privilege and influence. While many might envision a straightforward path for someone of his background, Morgan's early years were fraught with challenges that went beyond the gilded corridors of wealth. Born into the influential Morgan family, young J.P. was not only cradled in luxury, but also in expectations. His father, Junior Spencer Morgan, was a figure of immense stature in the financial world, and his shadow loomed large over J.P.'s early life. However, young Morgan's journey was beset with health issues that would plague him throughout his life. These health struggles were more than mere physical ailments, they were obstacles that tested his resolve, fortitude, and character. As a child, J.P. faced a constant battle with illness, which often kept him away from the typical pursuits of youth. His frequent bouts with sickness meant enduring long periods of convalescence, often in isolation, which could have been a setback for a less resilient spirit. Yet, it was in these periods of solitude and recovery that Morgan's inner strength began to take shape. Far from being a deterrent, his health struggles instilled in him a sense of determination and a refusal to be defined by his limitations. It was this resilience that would later become a hallmark of his character, evident in his bold business decisions and unyielding pursuit of success. Morgan's education, though interrupted by his health, was a testament to his tenacity. He was educated both in the United States and Europe, receiving a cosmopolitan education that exposed him to diverse cultures and ideas. His time in Europe, particularly, was instrumental in shaping his worldview and understanding of international finance. It was a period of intellectual growth that laid the foundation for his entry into the world of high finance, a world where he would eventually leave an indelible mark. As Morgan stepped into the world of finance, his early career was a testament to his resilience and foresight. His first major financial decisions were not just transactions, but bold statements of intent. Yet his path wasn't free of conflict. Tensions with senior financiers became a catalyst for a pivotal decision: the establishment of his own company. Amidst these professional upheavals, tragedy struck with the loss of his wife Amelia, a turning point affecting both his personal and professional life. Morgan's entry into the railroad industry was more than an investment. It was a strategic masterpiece. His involvement revolutionized the way businesses were consolidated. This process, known as Morganization, transformed struggling entities into profitable ventures. His approach to corporate management was hands-on, and his ability to build railroad monopolies showcased a keen understanding of power dynamics. Morgan's ambitions stretched far beyond finance and railroads. Enter the realm of steel and electricity, industries that would define an era. His acquisition of Carnegie Steel led to the creation of U.S. Steel, a monumental move that reshaped the American industrial landscape. But Morgan didn't stop there. His involvement in the formation of General Electric marked a foray into a realm that would light up the world. His business philosophy wasn't just about creating wealth, it was about creating giants that would stand the test of time. In the annals of American financial history, few chapters are as dramatic and pivotal as J.P. Morgan's role during the economic crises of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It was during these tumultuous times that Morgan transcended his role as a financier and emerged as a de facto savior of the American economy. The Panic of 1893, one of the worst economic downturns in American history, presented a scenario of widespread panic and financial instability. Banks were failing, the stock market was plummeting, and the public's confidence in the economy was eroding rapidly. It was in this dire context that J.P. Morgan stepped in, not just as a businessman, but as a stabilizer of the national economy. Morgan's intervention was bold and decisive. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, he orchestrated a series of moves to restore stability and confidence. He spearheaded a plan to shore up the gold reserves of the U.S. Treasury, which were dangerously depleted. This move involved not just financial acumen, but also a level of influence and trust that few possessed. By convincing European investors to part with their gold, Morgan played a crucial role in replenishing the U.S. Treasury's reserves, thereby stabilizing the the currency and calming the markets. But Morgan's role as the nation's economic savior didn't end there. The financial crisis of 1907, often referred to as the Morgan Panic, once again saw him at the forefront of crisis management. With the stock market in freefall and banks on the brink of collapse, Morgan convened a meeting of the nation's top financiers at his New York mansion. It was a gathering that would become legendary not for its opulence, but for its outcome. In a series of intense negotiations that spanned several days, Morgan devised a strategy to inject liquidity into the faltering banks. He personally vetted the books of various banks, determining which ones were sound enough to receive support. His ability to persuade other bankers to join in the effort was pivotal. Morgan's strategy not only averted a deeper crisis, but also laid the groundwork for what would eventually become the Federal Reserve System. Amidst these financial interventions, Morgan's complex relationship with the federal government, particularly with President Theodore Roosevelt, added another layer to his role. While Roosevelt was initially wary of Morgan's power, he eventually recognized the financier's crucial role in stabilizing the economy. This relationship underscored the delicate balance between public policy and private enterprise, a balance that Morgan navigated with his characteristic mix of boldness and pragmatism. The legacy of J.P. Morgan is as vast and complex as the empire he built. His influence on the American economy and the global financial system is indisputable, but it is a legacy that is not without its controversies and criticisms. He was a visionary, a titan of industry who brought stability and growth. To others, he was a symbol of unchecked power and greed, a man who epitomized the excesses of capitalism. This duality in perception was perhaps best encapsulated during the famous Pujo Committee hearings in 1912, where Morgan was grilled over his control of the nation's finances and his influence over its economic policies. His death in 1913 marked the end of an era, but it was only the beginning of his enduring legacy. Today, J.P. Morgan's legacy continues through the institution he helped found, J.P. Morgan Chase. It stands as one of the largest and most influential financial institutions in the world, a living testament to his financial genius and vision. As we reflect on Morgan's life and legacy, we are reminded that history is often written in shades of gray. His story is one of triumph and controversy, of admiration and criticism, a narrative that continues to evoke debate and introspection. Thank you for joining Luxify on this journey through the life of J.P. Morgan. If this exploration has captivated you, remember to like, subscribe, and share for more deep dives into the stories of those who shaped our world with unimaginable wealth.